Rob. This video, we're going to get back into The Walking Dead Season 4. Can we expect another death? Okay, guys, welcome back. So, as you all know, I've said this a couple of times on some of my other videos. When it comes to things like spoilers and things of that nature with with movies or shows, I tend to not mind so much a spoiler from a movie, unless it's something really, really intricate and if it's like a big ending. Like if somebody had told me the ending of Sixth Sense before seeing it, I probably would have hung them off a cliff. Or if somebody told me the ending of Fight Club before I saw the movie or during the movie, I probably would have shot them in the face 100 times with beanbags. Just that kind of stuff when it comes to a movie spoiler I don't like. But other movie spoilers, like reading a sequence that happens in the movie or a certain part of the movie, that doesn't bother me too much, because once you see the movie, whether you know the spoiler or not, that's it. The cat's out of the bag and you're moving forward to maybe a sequel. Well, the TV show, it's a little bit different. You could read one spoiler and it could spoil a pretty good amount of episodes for you, or even sometimes the whole season, depending on the spoiler itself. So with that said, I've really worked hard to prevent myself from reading anything regarding The Walking Dead in the second half of the season. That's why my videos have been more speculation, and then I'll come back to my videos when somebody comments and see that they know something more than I do, because they're probably reading that stuff and I'm not. I purposely avoid that. But I've heard the rumor mill. It's been cycling through. I do have Walking Dead fans on this channel who email me, hey, when are you going to do your next Walking Dead video? Oh, did you hear about this? And it's like, oh God, I don't want to know. But this one, I had to kind of tackle, because I'm still not over Herschel's death. It still bothers me. It's still very hurtful because of the way the actor was. He's such a good actor. And on top of that, the character itself, when you see his journey from what he was back in season 2 to what he became right before his death, is just a phenomenal journey. And I think it's a journey we've all taken for granted. I've said that before. So now I'm hearing the rumor mill that there is, and this was from comicbooknews.com. Now, in terms of their reliability, it's questionable, because as you all know, Walking Dead fans, I do a lot of Godzilla content on my channel, and Comic Book News has reported some Godzilla information that has been proven to be false. So in terms of The Walking Dead, I can't 100% say I believe what I've heard in this particular case, but who knows? So the story is that there's supposed to be another major character death from somebody who's still alive in the comic book. Now, I haven't been paying attention to the comic book for some time. I got off, and for those of you who remember, I don't actually own the comics. When I started reading about the story of The Walking Dead, I basically started watching the show and then countering with reading the comic book synopsis. So I know key elements of the comic book, just not some of the smaller detail. However, I've kind of laid off of that, because now they're starting to almost mirror the comic book. So I'm kind of laying off the comic book now. I know about Negan and that whole thing, and I know about some events that happened with Negan, but outside of that, I really haven't been following it for a couple of weeks now. So the thing of it is that I more or less know who's still alive in the comic right now, and when I kind of started doing my comparison and looking at who's alive and who's dead and this and that and who's alive in the show, I can honestly say that, first of all, I don't even know if I could handle another major death because of Herschel. I think, and I'm not saying that another major death wouldn't do the show good. I'm not saying I'd be upset about it. They're considerably adding a lot of new characters. I mean, like I said, I know at least 4 that I know of. You got Abraham, Eugene, Rosita, and then another character, I forget his name now. I did mention him in one of my other videos, but apparently this new character is going to be, they're being real secretive about him, and apparently he's not in the comic. He's a brand new character, and he's going to be portraying a kind of a smorgasbord of some of the characters from the comic. The first person I can think of maybe them adapting to this new character is Andrea from the comics. Andrea from the comics is very different than Andrea on the show. Andrea in the comics is badass. So that's one character I can see them kind of giving a little bit to this new one. I can't see, based on this whole death thing, I don't even know. I don't even know if I could really take it, depending on who it is. Because when you think about it, Carl, Rick, Maggie, Michonne, Andrea's already gone, so she doesn't count. and Morgan's a question mark because last time I looked at the comic, he was still alive. I don't know what his status is now. But and I know we're supposed to see him in the second half of the season, so he's another possibility. But if Morgan were to pop up in the show in the second half and then die, that wouldn't be as effective. And as we know right now, as far as I know, because like I said, I try to stay away from the spoiler stuff when it comes to TV shows. I don't know if he's been signed on for another season, if he's going to play a major role. I know he plays a major role in the comic, much more than he has so far in the show. But the thing of it is that if it narrows down to those four, I mean, I guess if I had to pick one, if it was the one that would bother me the least would probably be Michonne, because I'm not as invested in her emotionally as I am Carl, Rick, and Maggie. Not to say it wouldn't bother me, because I love Michonne. I think she's a badass character. We've seen flashes of her in terms of humanity and her emotions, and I want to know more about her in terms of the whole baby connection and why she cried. So that would suck if we don't get to see that part. But again, this is all speculation. It's something that is not a guarantee. Comic book news is not that reliable, in my opinion. They have great stories. They have had a lot of stories that have been legit, but they've also had some stories that have fell through the sinkhole. So I can't consider them 100% reliable. But we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't know if I can handle another major death from a character I really like. But, you know, as I said, there's a lot of new characters coming in, so they're going to have to make room for them somehow. You can't have, eventually this group is going to find each other again and move on, and you just can't have too much of a large group. There's just not enough time on the show to have that many characters. So another character dying is not completely out of the woodwork. It really isn't. So it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen. So anyway, I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but if you have, give me your thoughts. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think we're going to see another major death? And if so, do you think it's an appropriate time? Do you think it's too soon? Are you gung-ho about it? I don't know. Let me know. But, man, February 9th cannot come fast enough. I cannot wait. So anyway, I'll see you guys next video. Please share your thoughts and your comments, and I'll see you then. Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. I'm your host, Rob. This video, we're going to get back into The Walking Dead Season 4. Can we expect another death? Okay guys, welcome back. So, as you all know, I've said this a couple of times on some of my other videos, when it comes to things like spoilers and things of that nature with with movies or shows, I tend to not mind so much a spoiler from a movie, unless it's something really, really intricate and like, you know, if it's like a big ending. Like if somebody had told me the ending of Sixth Sense before seeing it, I probably would have hung them off a cliff. Or if somebody told me the ending of Fight Club before I saw the movie or during the movie, you know, I probably would have shot them in the face 100 times with beanbags. Just